Welcome back to Kettlebells and Cocktails. I'm your host, John, back with my bestie, Nikki. Live. How are you, Nikki?
Live. I'm great. We haven't done this in a minute.
We have not done a live in a long time.
Yeah.
Been a
How's
while.
everything? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. I had a stupid workout tonight and
Ooh, tell me.
kicked my butt. Now I'm going to have to look it up. See, I wasn't prepared to talk about it. It's kind of
You
nerve.
don't remember? Did you have total wad brain in the middle of it?
You know what? It was one of those workouts that required a lot of strategy. It doesn't. It looks pretty straightforward, but it does require strategy. So I'll walk you through it. So it was kind of Murph preppy, and it
Okay.
was like Murph and DT rolled into one, which is fun. So it was.
Okay.
So it was 50 pull-ups, 45 deadlifts, 100 push-ups, 30 hang power cleans, 150 air squats, 15 push jerks for time. So it's kind of basically alternating between Murph movements and DT movements, and so it required a lot of strategy because you're doing it as a chipper, so you've kind of had to blaze through this stuff, but you can really blow yourself up if you allow it.
Yeah.
Particularly like the middle section that was hanging everybody up. The pull-ups were the real limiting factor for almost everyone.
Yeah.
And it was not fun. And there was the 150 air squats though that surprised me because you do the 150 air squats, which are not difficult. It's just a lot. And then you have to do 15 push jerks. And my legs were like a baby deer. I looked like
Yeah.
I was like wobbling around trying to get this weight overhead. It was stupid.
What was the weight on the bar? DT weight?
Well, so we don't really prescribe weight, but because it was the DT movement, we were telling people, 155 is probably max for men. I did 135.
Yeah.
Seemed like the right thing, with 45 deadlifts and 30 hang power cleans in between those push-ups. And I'm a little tired. I had a good arm pump, though, when it was over.
Yeah, I bet.
Might have taken a selfie.
Okay. Are you posting these selfies these
No,
days?
just for me. Just for me.
Come on. Just to remember this time where you're like super dedicated and have lots of abs.
So, someday when I'm less fit, I can look back and go, oh, I used to be so fit, and then feel bad about myself then, but I feel good now. So.
Oh, I'm so excited for future you to feel bad about yourself. It's gonna be great.
I know. I'm excited about going to semis. This will be the fittest I've ever been at semis or the games for that matter. So
Ooh, okay.
Not that they're going to put me in and let me compete.
Yeah, I know, right? Put me in, coach. I'm ready. Well, you better wear your workout gear just in case.
Well, I'm doing the throwdown. Did I tell you that?
What?
The throwdown. I'm doing the
No,
throwdown.
this is fully new. Explain.
Yeah, well, you know what throwdown is. You've seen this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Heather, who's one of the games directors, she shot me a message and she's like, hey, do you want to do the throwdown? And I'm like, not really. She's like, I'll give you a couple of passes and you can bring a friend. I'm like, okay. So I signed up. So I'm doing it on Friday. It's going to be fun.
You're insane because we had this whole conversation about how Wadapalooza was fun, but you were excited that you were going to be able to go down and just like hang out. You had no responsibilities. You didn't have to work out like you did when you had the gauntlet and you were preparing for it and all that. It was like stressful.
Yeah, but this isn't a real competition, right? Or is it?
I think it's a community competition.
Yeah, it's not a real competition, though. I mean, I'm not planning to treat it like a real competition. Although I'm fitter now than I was at Wadapalooza, so I feel like I'd be all right. Like I'm not going to be embarrassed to be out there,
No.
but I'm not treating it like a competition. I mean, there's a good chance I'm going to be drinking in the stands prior to work.
So, okay, I'm here for that. I'm totally here for that.
I think everyone will. I'm like, oh my God, the meme guy just puked on the competition floor. This is great.
This is what I signed up for.
Yeah, everyone's here for that. It's gonna be
truly
fun.
It's gonna be fun. I'm glad that you are gonna be able to make it out and like spectate and have a good time. I'm jealous that we're not gonna be at the same event.
That's all on you. That's on you. Actually, I mean,
it's actually not at all. I'm the one that gets assigned a place to go. You could have gone anywhere, but I actually don't blame you. It's a lot closer to the East Coast.
What I'm most excited about, we'll do a merch drop here, is the new Two Food apparel coming out this week.
I'm like, the timing could not be more perfect. I'm so excited.
So yeah, so they sent me my t-shirt. Did you get your t-shirts yet?
I got the black ones.
Did you? Yeah. I got those too. And they fit great. I love the fit. They look good. I wasn't sure I was going to be jazzed about black as a color. You know what I mean?
I love it.
But I do love it.
I love it. So the super quick backstory is we made this awesome apparel merch with Tupu that has like our podcast logo, and their shirt material is so awesome and the fit is so great. And so we made like white and orange ones, and we made belts, and John and I kind of like forgot, like they were like this awesome partner and like made this merch for us. And we were like, that was fun. And then at Wadapalooza, the shirts were like in the booth.
Right.
And then people were like buying the shirts, and we were like, oh yeah, like these like look really badass, they're cool. So we ended up remaking, if you've seen our existing shirts, we remade them now in black. So that's an option for you if you are like an only black t-shirt as you work out person. That's like Matt wears like dark t-shirts when he works out because he sweats through them, and otherwise then he's got like nipple show happening. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That's
so
my favorite part.
Totally. The nipple show.
Yeah, hey, turn your mic's too loud, by the way. Turn it in the Bruce in the comment pointed out he's right. Your mic's very loud. Very hot. Very hot.
Why is it like this?
I don't know. Maybe you're just a loud person.
Should I just be far away from it? Is this okay?
Yeah, that Burby dude says it's just your voice. I think he's right.
I mean, probably. Bruce, is this better? What if I'm just far away?
That's better.
Okay.
That's a little better.
Fix my settings.
No, it's all good. You just had the gain up high. It's fine. This is why we don't do live shows very often.
I know. I'll turn the gain.
That's why we need. We should have had our real live producer on here with us. That was a miss on my part.
I know, right? We actually have one. Anyway, all that to say, that the black t-shirts are out or will be out this week, and we have a whole new design coming out too, which I'm really excited about. So I won't give anything away because that'll be a surprise when it actually hits the merch store. But we'll post about it, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know they're gonna be at your event. Are they gonna be at mine? Do you know?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I thought they were. I'm excited. I haven't been to Orlando in a while, and I don't plan to do any of the traditional Orlando stuff. I've planned to drink some margaritas. That'll be fun.
That's the whole point, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I will probably be plowed after one drink. I have not had a drink in like 90 days.
So explain, you're still super dialed in nutrition wise?
Oh man, it's obnoxious at this point. Actually, it's not. I shouldn't call it obnoxious. You just like, you just like get in the zone on things. Like you just get rolling.
Yeah.
And I feel really good, and like just feel great. And so I'm just not changing anything. It's a lot of repetition. It's like the same meals over and over and over, but I feel good, so I don't give a shit. And I just told myself, like, I'm not against alcohol. I'm like, why am I drinking by myself? Like if I'm not going out, if I'm not hanging out with friends, why would I drink at home? So I got all the booze out of the house. And by out of the house, I mean 90 days ago, I just drank it all and get rid of it. And then,
I was going to say.
And then I didn't buy any more.
Imagine that.
I have not missed it. I've had a lot of non-alcoholic beer. I'm drinking this. It's all non-sponsored, but I'm drinking this hop water. I don't know if you've ever tried it.
Oh, yeah. You like that stuff.
Yeah, it's really good. It's just sparkling water, but it's got nootropics in it and hops, and tastes a little bit like beer, and it's good. It's calming, and it gives you the same sensation, and you don't wake up with a hangover, and you're ready for the workout in the morning. So like I'm pretty tired from today's workout, and yesterday's was even worse. But I'm going to get up in the morning and go to the gym, and I'll feel fine because there's no alcohol in my system. So
wow. I'm not drinking, and I don't have nearly close to that drive. You're like, I'm going to wake up and do a workout tomorrow, even though today's was terrible. And I'm like, I might sleep forever.
Yeah, but you got a husband and kid at home, and all my kids are grown. Speaking of, how was your Mother's Day?
Oh, my God. It was the best. Mother's Day is my favorite holiday. I think it's now more fun than my birthday, truly.
Yeah? What'd you get? Yeah. What was your gift?
I got a t-shirt that says Mama on it.
Nice.
And a cookbook and a candle and some really beautiful flowers. And the greatest gift of all, which was Matt took me to the nursery in the morning, like the plant nursery, and we spent like 3 hours there, and I got like a bunch of beautiful flower bushes to plant in my yard. And that is like spending the day gardening, and I gardened with a mimosa.
I love it.
So it was like perfect. It's like the best day ever.
People in the comments are trying to rename our podcast because I'm not drinking. It says it can't be kettlebells and cocktails. Look, guys, it's going to be kettlebells and mocktails. If you're going to rename it, like at least make it clever. Come on. I mean, seriously. Although kettlebells and sober, I guess, could be fine. That'd be all right.
Kettlebells and sober, so sad.
It is
No.
sad. Let me tell you the story. I was at work this morning, and all of my peers are younger than me, and several of them have young babies. And one of them in the room has a brand new baby, like 3 months old. It's her first Mother's Day. And so I say to her, I'm like, "Oh, happy Mother's Day. How did you enjoy your first Mother's Day?" And she's like, "Oh, it was nice." I'm like, "What'd your husband get you?" And like you can see the look in her face change. And she's like, "I told him I'm not really like into holidays, but I wanted this one to be special." And my brother in Christ went down to Rite Aid, which is a drugstore here in Ohio, and bought her a Snuggie.
I mean, excellent gift, in my opinion.
Like,
are you serious?
I'm like, bro, seriously, who does this? Who buys their first Mother's Day gets a Snuggie?
Well, I kind of love it because I think that new moms especially never really ever need to get up and do anything. But is he like insinuating that she's now one with the couch? I don't know.
I don't know. We have some great new names.
Kettlebells and Snuggies.
I like kettlebells and Snuggies. I think that's a good one from Barry's got a real Irish name, Barry McCockiner. Let's see, kettlebells and MDMA. That's a good one. I think Spruce. That's a good one. Yeah, kettlebells and roofies.
Kettlebells and roofies. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
What could go wrong?
Truly nothing. Nothing I can think of.
All right, well, we're taking questions. So if you're in the comments, you want to ask questions, feel free. You have some questions.
Let me get my phone. Yes.
We'll submit it to you.
I got some. Hang on. I got some funny ones.
But feel free to, those of you in the comment section, appreciate you guys being here. If you have questions or just want to chat about stuff, just shout it out. We're happy to talk about it. And hey, Bruce, good to see you, man. Hey, Bruce, you're in the comments. Are you going to be at the East Coast?
In Orlando?
What's that?
I said in Orlando.
Yep, in Orlando. Here, Burpee Dude asks, why did you quit drinking? Quit's a strong word.
Yeah, he did not quit drinking. He's just quite focused on his nutrition and training.
I'm just not drinking much. Like, I'm not drinking unless it's a special occasion. Or, like, I'm going to drink in Orlando. So, if any of you guys are going to be in Orlando, you want to buy your brother a drink, feel free. I will be there for that. But I'm just not drinking, like, during this training cycle. And I swear to God, man, it's changing my body comp.
Oh, for sure.
Did I tell you I did another InBody scan? Did I tell you about this?
Like, maybe? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think we were texting about it. Yeah, so I do these InBody scans every, I usually do them like every 60 to 90 days, give or take.
Sure.
And for those that don't know what an InBody scan is, it's a scale. And you hold onto these handles and it runs currents through you that you can't feel, but it measures the water in your body and will tell you your muscle composition and give you your body fat percentage. It'll tell you kind of, where all your muscle is in comparison to each other. So it'll tell you, it'll compare your legs, it'll compare your arms, it'll tell you how much fat you have in your trunk, how much water you're storing, the whole thing. Anyway, I came in at 8.5% body fat.
That's insane.
Which is,
you are Skeletor.
Well, no, here's what's crazy about that. So here's why that InBody scan is so cool. So a year ago I did this, and it was right after when actually, I think it was farther than a year ago because it was back during the pandemic, and it's when you accused me of photoshopping my abs. And I'd done
I'm the worst friend. I'm the worst.
And at that point I was weighing about 170 pounds. Okay. If I remember right, my body fat percentage was around 10%. For this time, I was 176 with 8.5%. So I've gained muscle and lost body fat. And that's why the InBody scan is so cool, because you can step on the scale and go, oh, 176, I'm heavier, this sucks. When in reality, if you do it over a long enough period of time, and it'll show you your progress in each of the areas, give you the graph. And there's just really a lot of power in it. It's awesome. So that's part of why I haven't been drinking, is it helps my body comp. It helps, me focus on that sort of thing. So
yeah, I feel you. We did a 26-day nutrition challenge. We just wrapped it up on Friday was the last day. So Matt and I raged all weekend. I feel like shit. But the InBody scans were cool because it does help if you're I don't really know about that number on the scale. Just the weight itself isn't really going to tell you everything you need to know about the changes that you've made. So it is cool in that respect. But I will say it's a pain in the ass living
Barry
in a
says
house
in the
with a guy
comments
who's
that it's
doing that.
probably not accurate, and he's probably right. Like, I don't know if it's completely accurate, but I do know that I've done the exact same scale like 6 times now. And that's the trick, is like you're finding out what your progress is. So like I look at it and go, all right, if it had me like the last 3 times, if I'm remembering the numbers right, it was like 10%, 9.5, 8.5. Right now, I don't know if I'm actually at 8.5, but I know I'm decreasing. And I absolutely have photos from that time that I can look at and go, oh, wow, like I'm definitely leaner.
Yeah, for sure.
So for me, it isn't so much about, I could go get calipers, I guess, and pinch my hip and figure out like how close it is. But, I feel good at this age. I feel pretty good about it. And I'll put my stats up against any 52-year-old and we'll
There you
debate,
go.
that's all. It's just really about whether I feel good or not. So I don't give a shit. But anyway.
So you're going to feel amazing after a couple margaritas is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'll be bloated, so fuck that 8.5%. It'll be gone. It'll be great though. Totally good.
Yeah, join us in the realm of the 20s and 30s, John.
All right, you had questions.
Okay, I have a question. I had some fun ones come in. This is interesting. What's the stupidest thing that you thought as a kid? And then it says, or the most embarrassing thing you've ever done. But I thought that was hilarious. Like when you were a kid, you thought I was today years old when I learned whatever. What is the stupidest thing you thought as a kid?
Oh, I have no idea. I went to school in Mississippi, so I had a lot of dumb thoughts in those days, and I was really, really naive. One thing that's interesting to me though, and I guess it kind of applies here, is as a kid, you think people were way older than they were. And even now, like I was watching this video this morning and they were detailing the ages of all the people that were in Cheers. And I think this speaks to health and fitness. Like that dude that played, you remember Coach in Cheers?
Yeah.
That dude was my age.
What?
Swear to God.
Get out.
Like, yeah, swear to God. The dude that played Norm and whoever the post dude was, Cliff. Cliff was like fucking 35 when they filmed that. Like, and so my point is, it's like, as a kid, you look at it and go, oh, these people are so old. In reality, they weren't that old. But now in hindsight, looking back, you're like, man, they were just grossly unfit. Just really, and again, different era, different time, way before CrossFit, but still, it's just crazy stuff. Did you have crazy kid stuff?
Not crazy kid stuff. I had like a really stupid adult moment a couple years ago. I as an adult learned the difference between, this is so stupid. I can't believe I'm going to say this story, tell you the story out loud. I, as an adult, learned the difference between honeydew and cantaloupe, like the 2 kinds of melons. I was like 30 years old. This is so stupid. I was 30 years old at work and there was like a tray of fruit cut up and someone asked to pass the honeydew. And I passed the wrong. Well, I actually don't even. Still have to think about it. The honeydew is the green one.
Yes.
Right right.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And I passed the wrong one, and they were like, "No, I asked for the honeydew." And I'm like looking at them, and they're looking at me, and it hit me in that moment that I didn't know which one was which because English is my second language, right? And in Russian, there's just one word for melon. There's just one word. There's only melon. And I was so angry and I called my parents and I was like, you guys, I was like, what's the Russian word for honeydew? And they were both like, dinka. And I'm like, cool. What's the Russian word for cantaloupe? And they were both like, dinka. And I'm like, you guys ruined me. I'm an adult that doesn't know the difference between these 2 melons. And I look like an idiot in front of my entire workplace. So I was like 30 years old when I learned the difference between those 2 melons.
We had all the melons in the South. Someone in the comments asked where Mississippi, Tupelo, Mississippi, birthplace of Elvis, where I was born and raised. I talked to my mom yesterday and I was joking when I was done. I was like, damn, my Southern accent came back almost immediately. Every time I talk to her, I become a raging hillbilly. It's the best.
You go.
And then it goes away. I turn right back into Midwest mode, like almost immediately.
Just the off switch.
Yeah. Well, you start talking and, they start saying y'all and all of a sudden you're in the swing of it. Just in the swing of it. All right. Next question. What else?
Okay. Let me get you another one. Stop. Do you have any tattoos, John?
Not yet.
Ooh.
I'm having one. Did I tell you this? I tell you I'm getting one.
You told me that you're thinking about it. So what is the plan here?
It's in full design mode right now.
Get out. Okay, what's the plan?
As a matter of fact, the only reason it's not on my arm right now is the artist is still working on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I decided I was finally going to do it. So I've messaged a dude I know who does amazing work, and he's tatted 100 people I know here in town, and told him what I wanted, and he's working on it, and I should have the design soon. So I'll do it after semi. So I'll have it at the games.
What?
Nothing but tank tops at the games.
Sun's out, guns out all day.
Yeah, showing the arm.
What possesses you at this age when you've never had a tattoo before to kind of go for your first one?
Midlife crisis. Maybe same reason I bought the Jeep, I guess. No, I don't know. I think I'm reaching that age where, my girls are grown, they're gone basically. And so I'm kind of reaching that next chapter of my life, and I'm going to, the designs are going to be kind of based around their names anyway. So it's, a little bit of shout out to them and moving on to my next chapter. I thought it'd be a cool thing to do. I've wanted one for a long time. I've just never gotten around to it,
Mm-hmm. And if nothing really speaks to you or moves you in the way that you're like super committed to having it for the rest of your life, I get that too.
Yep.
I get like loving the idea of them or maybe thinking that things look cool, but not really finding something that you are comfortable with representing you and your body for eternity. I get it.
I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be fun.
Not nervous?
Of course I'm nervous.
Okay. Because they hurt. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Oh, I don't care about the pain. Like I handle pain fine. I'm more nervous of what my mom's going to say when she sees it. That'll be, you never
Does she know?
But she will now because she'll watch this. But
right.
We'll see. She'll be fine. She's sweetie. She's a sweetie.
Yeah.
So
my parents are wicked old school about that kind of thing, and it was like devastating to them when I first got tattoos when I was like 18 years old. So they've gotten used to it now. But
I'm just trying to keep up with all you cool kids. That's it. That's all.
It's got to be it. Yeah.
Hey, there's a good question in the comments I wanted to bring up anyway, so I'm dying to hear your thoughts since you'll actually be there. Thoughts on CrossFit not broadcasting 2 of 7 events for indies? That's a hot topic these days, man. People are fired up about that.
I know. As someone who is part of the broadcast, I obviously have no like say or pull or anything, so I'm reacting to it just as everyone else. I will say that like logistically, I think sometimes it's really difficult to provide full coverage of things that are happening like in different places at different times throughout the entire course of the weekend. But I do know that there will be coverage. So it's not just like, well, something happened and no one knows and now we're back with new stuff. It's like there's going to be like great footage and great coverage and great everything. Like the full story is going to be told and the context of everything is going to be told. I don't know why decisions were made one way or another to live stream certain parts and not the rest, but I do think that a complete story is going to be told. And we've done this before. I mean, they've done it at games with offsite events. They've done it at other competitions where things were like more difficult to cover live. So it's not like it's never happened before, but I'm confident that there's still going to be like a really good complete story. And I guess my disappointment is overshadowed by the excitement of the live stuff that we are going to get to watch. So take that with a grain of salt. I guess I'm biased because I'm like going to be there. So it's easy for me to be like, I'm stoked about it, but I am.
I have mixed feelings about it. I understand it. Like I'm here in Cleveland, right? And anytime the Browns or the Guardians don't sell out, they're blocked on local TV, so it makes sense that a pro sport would say, hey, we're not going to invest money in this unless it's sold out, right? Not to mention what I don't know is how many people actually view. I kind of wish CrossFit would release that info because they have to have it. Well, I shouldn't say that. They make a lot of screw ups. So I don't know if they actually have it or not, but you would think they would. Like they should have a sense of how many people will be tuning in for those kind of, it's going to be a horrible way to word it, but like a low value heat, like the heat for the people that you don't really know that well, I'd be interested how many people are watching and then what the cost of that is, so there's certainly a balance of a company that's trying to be financially responsible, but then there's also the side of me is like, yeah, but you know what? That's somebody's baby out there competing and their parents want to see it and not everybody can travel to God knows where, So I have some mixed feelings on it in that regard. I understand why they do it. Financially, it makes sense. It just does. And to your point, it's not like this is the first year they haven't broadcast every single event that's going on.
Right. And there will be coverage of it.
Yeah.
So,
But
like, people will get to see their babies just in, like, wonderful produced video form after the fact. And not, like, long after the fact either. But
I'm just mostly annoyed because I was going to be making a fool of myself in the stands and hoping they'd swing the camera around and everybody could see me. But since that obviously can't happen now,
you will have plenty of opportunity for that throughout the rest of the competition.
This is true.
I'm confident.
This is true. Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see. You know, hopefully they learn from some. I mean, I've seen a lot of good feedback around this. Somebody even said it in the comments, and I've seen it a couple other places. Of, you know, you ever seen the events where they have like one camera up top and it shows you the whole floor? Like, you know, there's some things like that they could do to allow more access. I'd like to see more people actually show up at the events. I'll be interested to see if this one is actually sold out. Like when we were together in Knoxville for that semi, that place was dead.
Yeah.
And
That was tough, honestly, though. There was so many things about that particular weekend that I feel like made it just a real challenge to
yeah,
get
it
people
was
out.
slightly post-pandemic too, so that probably didn't help. And it
Yup,
was Knoxville. No offense for anyone from Tennessee, but it's Knoxville.
right. And
Um,
it was graduation weekend,
yeah,
and it was two back-to-back weekends in the same venue. So I think that people were split. Like there was no FOMO because if you missed one, you could just go to the other. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I get it. It's just
So
weird. Like, you know, I watch these events like out of Australia. They every time Australia does an event, they seem to sell it out. Every time we have an event here in the States, it's like 2/3 of the way full. You know, I just like to see more people show up. But
yeah,
oh well,
agree. I
we'll see.
agree. Yeah.
All right, next question. What else we have?
Do you want to pull one from the comments, or I'm going to pull one from my phone?
Oh, we could do both. Pull one from yours. I'll scan the comments.
Okay.
Oh, here's one. When has CrossFit made you pay for regionals or semis? I'm not sure I understand the question, Mitchell. Mason, you may need to rephrase
No,
that.
I think he means like there's never the broadcast has always been free. So you kind
Oh,
of like
yeah.
you're getting what you get at the end of the day. Like when have they ever made you pay? They haven't. So like they're doing the best that they can to provide this service, and there's never been a fee.
You know, back in the good old days, or just the old days, I don't know if they're good old days, but you know, those broadcasts were like every time they'd go do they weren't semis, they were regionals, but like $1 million a pop every time they put one of those things on, and they were streaming every damn second of that thing, which is great for the fans, but the company was losing money hand over fist.
Yeah, I love listening to people say what we should or shouldn't do on broadcast, like they have any idea
That shit's
what
hard.
it
You guys work
takes.
hard. I don't really know what you guys do other than just the observance that I see when we're together, and it's hard. And
I just sit around looking at my phone. If you believe your memes,
yeah, well, that isn't what you do. I thought that's
I
what
just pretty much what I do. Yeah, fact.
much. There's part of it that's interesting about here's a true story. Because they're not broadcasting it, it's going to give less of an advantage to the athletes on the West Coast. I had an athlete, I'm not going to say the name, but it's a friend who messaged and said, can you record event one and tell me what the split times were for people getting on and off, you know, the bikes and ergs and, you know, whatever the event is. And this is a top tier athlete, not just like some random schmo nobody's heard of, you know, and that's because there's not going to be a broadcast of it.
That's very interesting.
I know. And so I said, I will, but when you win the event, you have to give me a shout out when Niki interviews you.
Well, the reason I knew this is because John Woolley of Make Quads Great
Exactly.
Again sent me a video. That's wild. You know, I guess in my mind, like, you know, because everything was released with enough time for the elite athletes to practice, and they all do the workouts like a bazillion times ahead of time. And most of them train in pods, or they, you know, they're friends with other elite athletes and they compare their training times and their scores and whatever. Like, I guess I just figured everyone's going to really know everything already before weekend one.
No, I think these
But
athletes are
maybe
every bit as
not.
neurotic as we are before we go do a workout in our gym.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's the beauty of CrossFit, though. That's part of the community vibe to me. You know, it's like they still get freaked out going into, and you know, they've done them 100 times. Just fun.
I think we always forget that. And every time we have an elite athlete on the show and we're talking about like prep for a competition or what was going through your mind here or there or whatever, it is always funny to me how much they're like real people. They're just like us. Like, you know what I mean?
They're
Like,
not just like me. They're way fitter than that.
well, fact, but like in their heads, they're just like us. And like every single one of them behind the scenes when they're in the tunnel and getting ready to go out onto the competition floor. And I can tell you because I'm with them and you talk to them and you hear them and they are shitting themselves. And they're all like, I don't think I can do this. I don't know. Or they do have like a vote of confidence, but like we get that sometimes too, where they're like, no, come on, like you prep for this, you know what's ahead of you, you can do this, like play your game, stay in your lane, whatever. And it's crazy to think like you see them on TV and they seem larger than life and unreal, superhuman. And in many ways they are, but in many ways they're just people.
True.
Just
I do need to say the athlete that messaged me was not Danny. I want to make sure everybody knows.
You have to say that because for some reason people like.
Yeah, everyone's going to like, oh, it's obviously Danny because she's the only one that talks to John. It's like, it was not Danny. I haven't talked to Danny in a while, actually. She's been busy.
They all are. They train in you.
I know she's got that shoe deal now with Tier, and that's all I see on her page is she's posting foot photos for all the pervs, I guess. I don't know. Shoe photos.
Make that money, girl.
Make that money. That's good.
I approve. Okay, right. Here's a question for you, John. I would love to know any tips or ins and outs you have of Madison. I'll be going to my first CrossFit Games this year.
I love Madison.
You love Madison.
It's probably going to be our last year in Madison, but I love Madison. On the spot, I can't remember the names of all the places, but there's a restaurant downtown called Crave that has the most amazing burgers.
I was gonna say I know exactly what you're talking about.
So many burgers, but this one's made from like brisket and wagyu and bacon, and it's like greasy and fatty, and it's so delicious. It is so good. So that place is great. There's Dottie's. I think it's called Dottie's Dowry, which is also a burger place. That's the thing about Madison is like every place is going to have burgers and cheese curds.
Yep.
And cheese curds are different everywhere. Both of those places have great cheese curds.
And you should get them everywhere.
And for the life of me, I can't remember the ice cream place in town. Someone's got to come in the comments and remind me what it's called. But they actually have one in the Coliseum. And it's the best. Like that Madison Dairy, I don't know what it is, but it's so good.
It's so legit.
I just like Madison because it's easy to get around and it's small. You can it doesn't matter where you stay. You can walk to where you want to go. It's easy to park at the games itself. It's easy to get in and out. Like just really, really simple. I like the town. I know it's not perfect for everyone, but I love it. Small Midwestern town, right up my alley.
Well, I highly recommend the restaurant in the lobby of the Sheraton across the street from the Alliant Energy Center, which is the only place I ever get to go and eat ever. This is actually true. It's really sad, but like when we travel for CrossFit events especially, and you know this because at every event I try so hard to see you, and it's always like we probably work like 14 hours a day. We work like first thing in the morning until after competition ends, and then we like all pack our shit up and go back to the hotel, and we're all staying in the same hotel, the entire broadcast team, and then we have production meetings through dinner. So we meet at the hotel restaurant, we drink because it's stressful. Yeah. We order food and we prep and plan the next day's show, and then we go to bed, and then we do it all over again. So I don't actually have any recommendations in Madison other than the cheese curds at the Sheraton are bomb, though. I will say that.
Well, I will say that hotel bar, though, is a good recommendation because I went there last year. A friend of mine was staying in the hotel. It was her and her partner, and they messaged me, and they're like, hey, why don't you come over and have a drink with us? So I roll in there, and the Australians were there drinking. Now,
sounds right.
The games had just ended, so they weren't like drinking during the games, although it wouldn't surprise me if they were.
Also true.
And it was Jay Crouch and his brother and Rob Forte, and I know Jay and Rob very well, and then several others that I didn't really know that well. And they'd only been there for an hour or so, and they had a stack of beer cans. I am not shitting you. That were way above head height. They just had these things stacked up, and they were already plowed. And this was like probably, I don't know, a couple hours before the after party, at least a couple before the after party. And And so I hung out with them, had a drink, and they're being rowdy, and they're very aggressive. They're one that like they're awesome guys, and I love them to death. But they can't just hug you. Like you get a headlock, and it's like a scrum, you know. And so I'm like, I'm gonna have a drink, and I'm gonna get out of here. And I sneak into the after party after, and run into them again, and they're damn near just insane. Like shirts ripped, still drinking hard. Like I love those guys. I mean, I'm probably going to piss off Canadians or the Irish or whoever, but nobody out drinks the Australians. It was impressive, really impressive.
So there you go, the hotel bar.
Yep.
You never know what you're going to find.
And you have to try to sneak into the after party. Those are 2 big recommendations.
Fair.
I totally crashed that thing. It was fun. But the problem is I didn't have a band to get drinks, so I had to keep hitting people up for drinks all night. Which kind of
that's lame. We should get you a band.
I know. I need a band. I got a lot of drinks though. So
we didn't go last year, which was sad because we didn't plan it. We didn't have a sitter. Things will be different this year.
I do have an excellent video of Shane Orr dancing on the stage, just like plowed out of his mind. And it was probably the same night Baby Willow was conceived.
Well, good for them.
Probably. Who, by the way, is the most beautiful baby. Did you see these photos?
I did.
Of Tia's baby? Oh my God.
Little angel face. I'm dead.
She is straight up gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't feel that way about all babies. Not all babies are cute. Let's not lie here. Willow's pretty damn cute.
That's totally true. We were like convinced we were going to have an ugly baby, like for sure. Because both Matt and I were like pretty hideous children until we were like 4 to 6 months old. Because then every baby gets cute eventually. But like the weird like raisin stage, like the old man stage, the alien stage, neither one of us was. We weren't giving at all in that stage.
I make cute babies. I'll just throw it out there.
You do. Good sir.
I do.
Okay. Let me ask you this question.
Barry said he had chest hair as a baby. I need to see that baby. Right. I need to see that baby photo.
Sounds right. Well, here, do you want to pull one from the chat, sir?
I haven't seen one, so tell me what you have. Here's not a question, but Fergie Show says keep an eye on Rebecca Fuselier in the West, major gains this year. I don't disagree with that, but I was thinking about this morning. I was like kind of looking at the list, trying to decide who's not going to make it. I know it's a terrible thing to think, but you're always looking like, all right, who's the name that's not going to go?
Like right under the cut line? Like who's going to
miss? And I had Rebecca on that list, not because I have anything against her. I love Rebecca. She's a total sweetheart, and she is fit AF. But it's hard to go 2 years in a row, like as a rookie, and then go, follow that up. It is, and so she was one I was like, I don't know. Maybe not. She's got some tough competition out there, but I love her to death. I'd love to see her go. And she had that great moment at the games last year. So she'd be fun to watch again for sure.
Here's a good question. If you had to do one of the semi-tests, which one would you prefer to suffer through from Sherry?
Oh, I haven't looked at them. Am I horrible CrossFit games? Tell me what they are.
No, my answer is, first of all, you should go look at them just for fun, just to like prep yourself for what you'll be able to see. And my answer is none of them. None of them. I would do none of. No, I'm just not fit. I can't. 0% of me looks at those workouts and thinks, oh, I would really love to try that.
What is going on in your backyard?
Can you hear
right
that?
Now? Jesus
no,
Christ.
That was a motorcycle out in the front lawn.
Well, did your husband buy a motorcycle and I didn't realize it?
No, that was just really loud.
All right, I'm looking at the test now. So was the question which ones I would want to do or not want to?
Yeah, which one would you do?
I'm not doing 4 and 5. Run 800 meters and do a max snatch? No, thank you. I don't want to drop that weight on my head. That would suck in a big way. I don't like that. Test 6, overhead squats, 500 meter row. I'm out. Handstand walk pirouettes. No. Legless rope climbs. Nope. Just a big nope. Here's my problem with these semis tests for like the average guy like me. Like I can't do them because it has so many movements I can, which is why they're elite, obviously. Test 1. I like this one. 3,000 meter echo bike, hand over hand pull, 2,000 meter assault runner, another hand over hand pull, 1,000 meter ski ergs. This is like kind of in my wheelhouse. Lots of machines, some heavy implements. Like that's kind of my normal Sunday. That's the training I normally do on Sundays.
I feel like that one's definitely up your alley.
That one I would like.
Yeah.
It's when they get into like, and this is, kudos to all these athletes to be able to do this stuff, but ring complexes, single leg squats, like that's where I'm out. I could do
Yeah.
test 3, Linda. I mean, not at these weights, but if you should be able to deadlift, bench and squat clean. So
I actually think I might be most excited to watch Linda because I love Mia Benchmark and because it's such a regionals throwback, right? We did Linda in 2018, which was my favorite year of regionals ever.
that was a good year.
It was my favorite. I went to Europe for back-to-back weekends and it was like so good. The events were so good.
Here's a good comment. I think they're right. I'd be curious if have you looked at the list of people that are competing in the East and West?
More west than east, but yeah.
Yeah. So Allison says, I think we can 100% see some upsets in the East, Indies, and teams. Who do you think could get upset? I had a few on that list. Thank you, Allison, for the question.
That's a good one. Well, I will start by saying I don't think anyone is guaranteed. I really don't. And at the end of the day, I don't think we've ever had quite as wide open of a field. And given the fact that we are sort of like back to this format, I think that changes a lot, right? Because we've had a couple wonky years where we had sanctionals and then, semifinals, but they were still like these individual competitions and everyone was sort of like doing the programming on their own. I just think that everything has been shaken up so perfectly that not a single person is guaranteed again. And I think given the fact that we're going to have like really even across the board tests region over region, it's going to show such an incredibly clear path as far as like what the competition will trickle down to for the finals at games. And we haven't had that in so long. So I'm stoked as like a nerd on the sport and the way that the sport was back in the OG days and the way that regionals were and how you could like, that's never perfect, right? Because the stadiums are different and maybe the equipment's a little different depending on like what region or what part of the world can get what. But it's just like, I'm like, it hurts my cheeks. I'm smiling so much. Like it's just such a solid competition format to have these tests all over the world and to figure out how, like, who's going to funnel into games from there. So I just like no one could be an upset. I don't know. I just think not a single athlete in my mind is guaranteed anymore.
The only thing I disagree with you on that is I think Mal's guaranteed. I think there are a couple that there's like, barring an injury, there's no way they're not qualifying, particularly in the East. Like I look at this group of women, can't see anyone on that list that would. I don't see enough people on that list that could knock Mallory out of contention. I'm not saying she's going to win the East, but I don't think there's any chance she won't qualify barring an injury.
Okay.
And that's about as strong a point as I will make. Everybody else on the men's side, maybe Roman. I'd say the same thing.
Really?
Yeah,
okay. That's interesting.
I love Roman these days. I think that dude's just like he's proven it to me. Like every time I see him compete, I'm like, man, he's just getting better and better and better.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, against this field, so this isn't the full games field. So like he's not competing against Justin or Pat,
Right.
But you got some strong competition. Saxon's there. Saxon, Spencer, James Sprague, Jason Hopper, Will Morad. You got some big names up there. So, but I'm with you. Like anybody could have a bad weekend too. So no one's guaranteed. I like your point.
You never know.
You never know. You get the good competition. I mean, no offense to the people in the East, but
oh my God. Okay. What does that mean?
Sorry.
Can you explain?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you got Justin, Pat Vellner, Nick Matthew, Scott Tetlow, Fikowski's there, Cole Sager, Chandler, Tudor Magna, Sam Quant, Colton Mertens. I mean, come on, look at these names.
Yeah, I think the women's field is more stacked in the East. But yeah, the men's competition is definitely thick.
Yeah.
The men are thick out west, for sure.
It's gonna be fun. It'll be a fun weekend. You know me, I hate speculating because I don't know. It's not like putting two football teams against each other where you can really handicap it. Like these individual competitors, it's just always a wild card, always. But hey, Trish is asking if this is a real Stratocaster on my wall. Yes, that one, that silver one. I actually built that one, but it is a real Fender Strat. All these guitars are real. Like,
John, you have to scroll back up to Trisha's comment because she renamed our show.
oh, what, kettlebells and cock? Yeah, I saw that.
Kettlebells and cock. Screw the two-pood shirts. We're renaming the show from now on.
Well, and here's the funny part about that is when we picked the name, we didn't even consider that could ever be a nickname. And then the very first time it shows up on someone's Spotify, like that's all you see.
It was like formatted wrong. John was like, I need to redo the social icons.
Yeah. I know. Trish is now my favorite person though, because she's naming all my guitars. She's got like real guitar names in here, and that rarely happens. Here's a funny story. My daughter had her boyfriend over tonight, and I'd never met this kid before, ever. Like he just walks in, like I didn't even know he was coming, so he surprised me. And I'm like standing in the foyer, and he walks in, and he's got this cheesy mustache, and he looks in this guitar room. And I want you to keep in mind, there's 15 guitars in this room, Nikki. 15.
Okay.
I have a sickness. And he looks around, and he's like, "Oh, do you play guitar?" And I go, "No." Just that quick. Like, nope. And now he's confused, which is the best. And my daughter, God love her, will let anything happen for a joke. So she just lets this play out. It's the best. And so then he's like scrambling to try to figure out why I have all these guitars. Like I must be a collector. Now he's asking me way too many questions. It was the best. I'm like, I love trolling kids.
Your favorite pastime. The easiest targets.
I was in max dad mode. It was perfect.
Oh my God.
Just peak
so
dad.
Funny.
Peak dad.
When did she get a boyfriend?
This year. Yeah.
Dang.
Oh, this is an old hat at this point. It's like boyfriend number 3, 2 or 3. Yeah.
You're used to it by now.
Yeah, you get used to it. I'm telling you, I'm on my second life now. They're all grown.
That's wild.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm cracking up at this comment section right now. Oh.
Yeah, Bean's here too.
Oh, that was a question. Where's Bean?
He's right here. Come here, buddy.
Is he pissed? He's always pissed.
He's a little annoyed. I don't know what his problem is. I don't know where he is. I can hear him, but I can't see him. So
I know I heard him out of nowhere.
He's around. All right. What other questions you have? Maybe other questions or anything else you're just dying to talk about? Oh, here he is. Hey, buddy.
Let me see if we have any more good ones.
If I can get Bean to come out of his little hiding place here, I'll let him make an appearance. Say hi to everyone. Trish is asking you all the guitar questions, which I like.
Which one of you is kettlebells?
Yeah.
John, I'm the Cox.
Are
obviously.
You? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the kettlebells.
Duh.
Yeah. No doubt.
I miss, this is a quote, make cock great again.
We could put that on a hat.
We totally could put it on a patch.
We could put it on a patch.
Do you think if we actually did that and handed them out, people would wear them? That's the real question.
I'm excited to get our new patches. I'm going to bring patches to the East. I have a whole bag of Make Watch Great Again patches, and I'm bringing them with me and handing them out. Swear to God.
Heck yeah.
Got to make it happen.
I love it. I'm scrolling back. You guys are on another level in the comment section right now. Truly.
Very personal stuff. It's good. I like it.
Good Lord. All right. This isn't a question, but I did get a message that just said that you should post more selfies, and I think they're talking to you.
No, they're probably.
I think that's a you thing.
They have to be talking to you.
No.
They have to be talking to you.
I did get a question that said, how can I get started to become a CrossFit commentator? Which I thought was interesting. I don't have the answers.
You have to give up a love of money. That'd be the first thing you need to do.
Well, there's that. No, I don't have a great answer other than it is truly like about volunteering and figuring out like where you can just become a part of something. And so like local events are a really great way to cut your teeth, and then like figuring out if there's anything going on that's a little bit bigger that you can step in and say like, hey, maybe I don't know how to do this yet, or maybe I just need a little bit more practice, but do you need help like figuring out how to get a broadcast going, or maybe like I don't even, are there MCs on the floor who need help or something along those lines? But just like figuring out how you can become like a real part of an event is always a great first step.
There you go. Here's one. Oh, this one has no one will get fired up about this. Froning or Frazier?
For president? Like I don't.
No, come on. This is like LeBron Jordan debate everyone has. Who's the GOAT?
They're so different. They're so different.
Are they?
Yes. Yes, they are. I
You have
don't.
no
I don't.
opinion on this as the sideline reporter?
No, I truly don't.
No? Oh, I do.
No. Oh, really? Explain.
Well, look, I love Frazier. Matt's a friend, right? So like I feel bad, but when you look at what the two accomplished, Matt did something spectacular. Most individual wins, but when you look at Frazier and his longevity, it's really something else, man. Like
wait,
really something else between
wait. Sorry, you mean Froning?
Froning, yeah. Sorry, Froning.
Okay.
Yeah, Froning, and his longevity. I mean, between Indies and then his amazing team run, and then bluntly, if he decided to do Masters this year, I have no doubt he would have been on the podium again. I mean, there's just no doubt. Like the guy's just ridiculously fit. So if I had to give a GOAT title, it's going to be to Froning. If I had to. But that's not to take away from Matt. I think what Matt did was really spectacular, and what Matt's doing is spectacular. So I wouldn't sit there and say, "Oh, Matt's a big piece of crap. Froning's the greatest ever." I think Froning is the GOAT when you look at that longevity. But I really respect what Matt did, which I think is a little bit harder to do for an individual athlete, which is take your titles and go home. That's hard. That's really hard to do, to quit when you're on top. And to his credit, went and started a business, and now he's got a baby on the way, and like, I'm happy for that dude. Like, that's the dream. Make your money and walk out smiling.
Here's why I have a hard time answering this question. Because I just think that these two athletes, like, they shine in completely different areas. Like, if you had to ask me, like, who's a maybe like physically a better athlete, like who's fitter, I think I would say Matt. Because I think that the sport has evolved so much, and to see him win the way that he did as a sport is like, I don't know, just light years ahead of where it was when Rich was in, like at the very beginning, like not a single person could do a muscle up. It was insane. And so for him to excel the way that he has down the line, I think that if you were like, which one of these dudes is like physically a more impressive specimen,
right,
I think I would say Matt. But if you were like legacy wise, and I guess that's it, right? I guess that's the question. If the question is like GOAT, that really means legacy, then I'm with you on Rich, because I think there has to be something to be said for pioneering the way that he did and for not losing steam, to your point about the Masters.
I'll tell you my favorite.
I don't know if that is more of an answer.
Yeah, I tell you where they're similar. They both hate losing, but I'll never forget with Rich when his team finished second that one year. In the photos that came out, the look on his face was worth $1 million. Like, he looked disgusted, and I mean truly disgusted to be in second place.
That's true. And that was rough.
Yeah, that's the sign. And now Matt's not much different in that regard,
no.
But it just really speaks to who he is, like that competitive fire he's got, and it's impressive how long he was able to maintain it. And it should be noted, in between all that, had a family, young kids. And started a pretty big business, and it wasn't like he was just sitting around only working out all day. So, very, very impressive. And his team was always rotating. Always. It wasn't like he had the same team every year and they were just dominating. Like, he's always changing that team out.
Well, he's the glue. That's what that tells you, right? But I will say, just at the same time, like the few years that it took for Matt to get to first, when he was like second and it was like him and Ben and whatever, like those years he had that perpetual face that Rich had that one time on the podium where he was like, not again. So like that vibe.
Yeah. Justin Birch said much better what I was trying to say earlier, which is Matt could have continued competing and gaining the same legacy as Frazier, but chose not to, and that's okay. Same legacy as Froning, but But yeah, I think that's right, and that's one thing I really respect about Matt. Like, I'm telling you, I don't know if I'd have it in me if there were any, if I had anything in my life that I could compare to what Fraser's done, and there's really nothing, in comparison. But if I had something where I was like dominating year over year and just said, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to take my money and be done and go do something else.
Pretty badass. I'm not
It
gonna
is.
lie.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I love it.
It's pretty cool, and he'll probably be on the sidelines this weekend. I'll get to see him. Hopefully, get to see him in Orlando.
That'd be fun.
And he won't talk to me because he's going to hear this. I'm like, fuck, Wooly, like,
Right. Screw that guy.
didn't give me the goat. Oh, here's a good question. Here we go. I think I know who was the worst. Which athlete smelled the best in a post-WOD interview?
Nobody smells good post-WOD. Can I tell you guys? It's rough out there on the sidelines. I'm not gonna lie. Like, everyone is stinky, real bad, sweaty,
Who was the worst? I think you
real
told
bad.
me once. I can't remember. Who was the worst?
No, I'm not gonna say that
Yeah,
on the
you
show.
are.
That is so mean. No,
Come
I'm never
on.
gonna.
They
I will
know.
never say that.
They have
No.
to know.
Everyone smells like ass. Everyone. And in the tight shots where they're like, if you ever see me like side to side with someone with like a mic, or the teams, especially when there's like, two people on each side, like I leave covered in other people's bodily fluids on a nightly basis. Like, so many people have sweat on me every which way. It's really glamorous. It was only year one that I was like weirded out by it. And I was like, oh my God, they have to come, like the good camera guys doing this. Like, you guys got to get in, like squeeze into the shot. And I was like, oh my God, they're sweating on me. And then I got used to it real fast. At this point.
You gotta give the dirt. That's what people want from you, Nikki. You know who smelled the worst? Who was stinky?
I can't. Well, do you know what's funny? Sorry, I'm not going to answer that question. And that's, by the way, that's just me. Or the people like in the comments being like, why am I not slinging dirt? Like, that, if you don't know me, this is who I am.
I know you, and I want you to sling dirt. What does Danny smell like?
Well, she smells like roses.
Does she?
Obviously.
Roses, candy?
No, everyone smells like ass. Everyone just like left their
Danny?
soul out onto the field of play and like comes back smelling like shit. But we especially in California and SoCal, where we were like extra melty because it was just the hottest fucking place in the entire world to have the CrossFit Games. We would oftentimes play the game of who smells the worst on the broadcast team, and it was always me. It was always me. You know why? Because when you have boobs and you're sweaty, your boobs just become 2 extra armpits. So it's like having 4 armpits. I do a lot of the like deodorant under boob swipe.
Yeah, I'm gonna play dare the chat. Mason says 0 chance either you rock the boat. Ask a question, Mason. Throw it up there, buddy. I'm happy to rock the boat. I'm just the meme guy. Nobody gives a shit about my opinion anyway. So feel free. Now, Nikki's got a real job, and she does have to actually get on the sideline and be face to face with these people. I don't have to see them, so I can say whatever I want. So ask your question, buddy. If you think we won't rock the boat, I'm happy to answer them.
I might not, but this is my show, so I can do whatever the fuck I want, Mason.
Well, I'll answer them though. I don't mind. I don't mind rocking the boat. I haven't had any problems with any of the athletes though, but I haven't had the same close contact as you. I pissed off Tia one time. That was fun.
Just once?
Just once.
What'd you do?
She is the sweetest person too. I mean, like literally, I say this, like anytime I like comment or message something, she always responds to me. Always. She is literally the sweetest person on the planet. So this was before I knew her.
Okay.
But I did a series of memes. Paige was young too. Like literally nothing. I might have had 20, 30,000 followers at the time. Anyway, I just decided I was going to do this series of memes giving a quote to the person, right? And you got to make the quote funny. So I had Tia's image and the quote. I messaged a friend of mine that was in Australia. I'm like, hey, I need some Australian slang. Can you give it to me? And so he wrote out a quote in Australian slang, and I don't even know what the hell it said. It was just gibberish. So, something about grilling and beer and, just gibberish.
You were like, copy and paste. I'll just use this. Yeah, stranger on the internet.
Bad.
Amazing.
I've made him tell me what it meant, and it wasn't bad. But she saw it, and I got a DM back in all caps that said, do not attribute quotes to me. She was so mad.
Oh, no.
So mad at me. And I quickly apologized because, I didn't want Tia mad at me. Like, that wasn't my intent. Like, I wasn't trying to roast her. I thought it was funny. She did not find it funny at all. But She did not block me, so I'll give her credit for that.
Are you still blocked by anyone that you really like wish you weren't blocked by?
Dave. Dave's the only one.
Still?
Yeah, he ain't never
Dang.
unblocking me. I've been blocked by Dave for all of eternity. But no. I got blocked by Fikowski early on, but he likes me now. So
Yeah. That was a good reversal.
yeah. Some like in early on, I think some of them were because they were getting tagged and stuff I was doing, and it was probably just annoying to like get all the tags and all the DMs from people sending stuff to him, and so you just get blocked. But I think that's why he did it, but he got over it. So, but yeah, Dave's the only one, and I like Castro. I know people, I make fun of it a lot, but I like Castro, so I kind of hate that he's blocked me, but it's good. It's good, good comedy. So. Use it to my advantage. Trish is asking all these banking questions.
There's a lot of great banking questions.
I know. I'm not answering any of them. I'm not giving financial advice on this thing. I'll get myself in hot water with compliance. Niki, have you ever done edibles? That's a good one.
Yeah.
Have you? Do you
for
do them
sure.
now?
Yeah.
Do you go and get drug tested for the games? You're allowed to say?
I wish. No, I don't do them now. I don't do anything fun because I'm still nursing. But I would love like a little edible before bed. Relax.
Edibles are tricky, man.
They are tricky, but you gotta, if you find something that works for you, then that's pretty rad. I can't wait until I can go back to like CBD for sleep. I can't do anything fun.
I need somebody.
It's gonna be glorious when I'm out west and not having to nurse and having all the drinks.
Oh, you could have edibles out there. They have the good ones in California.
Great. I'm sure that'll be awesome for. Where's Niki? She slept through the broadcast. Weird. She hasn't taken anything extracurricularly for like 2.5 years. That was the perfect time.
She's on the podcast and she's high as fuck. Fergie Show wants to know my Fran time. What's your Fran time, Niki?
Oh, I don't know. Something shitty. 6 or 7 minutes, probably.
The last time I tested it, and I want you to keep in mind, I did it at home. I did it here in the basement by myself. I want to say it was 4:15.
Dang.
I think. That was a couple of years ago. I'm fitter now. I think I could go sub 4. I'm positive I could go sub 4. But
you should test it.
No.
No. Okay. Just kidding. Terrible idea.
No, it's terrible. It's the worst. It's absolutely the worst. I don't know why that. I'm sure someone could tell me the science around why it's so terrible. I hate that feeling. I had this happen to me last week, by the way. I'll tell the story. I hate that feeling when you're done with the workout and your body gets progressively worse.
Yeah, shitty.
Here's my problem.
That too.
This is a big problem for me. I'll do anything for a medal, and I'll do almost anything on a dare. I can't help myself. And if you tell me there's a target to hit, I will kill myself to get there. So at the gym last week, we had what on paper looked like a pretty easy workout. It was 5 rounds, 30-second assault bike sprint, 90 seconds of rest.
Okay, sounds terrible.
On paper, it looked fine. So I get there, and the coach goes, high score for the day is 89 calories. And I'm like, I bike a lot. And I do bike a lot. I bike
a lot.
I do bike a lot. I bike 4 times a week, and 2 of those are long with lots of sprints in between. Like, I love biking, And so I'm like, I can hit 89. And so I get in the first round, and I do 20 calories in 30 seconds first round. And then I do 19 calories in the second round. And I literally turn to the coach. I'm like, bro, I'm going to crush this. Exactly what I said to him. I'm like, I'm going to kill this. I get to the third round. I do 17. And the coach saw the look on my face. He's like, you're not in a good place, are you? I'm like, no, I'm not in a good place.
Things are bad. Milk was a bad choice.
Yes. And then the next 2 rounds were like 13 and 13. And I went and laid in the floor. And we had a second workout to do that I completely skipped.
Oh,
Didn't do it at all. I just went and sat on a bench and tried to not puke for about 30 minutes. And I did not. I'm still puke free, by the way. But I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling where it progressively catches up to you and you get that mercury taste in your mouth, And so, yeah, I'm not doing it.
I'm with you. That's the worst.
Yeah. I am not doing Fran. So, and I think
like ever again?
No, I'll do it if it's program.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
I'll do it if it's program. But, I always do as I'm told. I try to be a good student, when when coach says, "Here's what we're doing," I just go do it. You know, it's the beauty of CrossFit. You don't have to think; you can just show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I like about it. Oh, Trish wants to know the last time I cried. When was the last time? I'm a sappy dude.
You are.
I am.
I think people don't realize that about you, right? Because you're the meme guy and you're the
What was I
the
watching?
thick skin, whatever.
I get like I should cried's a strong word. I get like teary eyed. I get movies.
Misty.
Yeah, movies like sad moments, and they're not even movies that should be sad. It'll be like a quick scene. You'll be watching a Marvel movie. I'm like, why am I crying over this raccoon? It's like just dumb.
That shit changes after you have kids. I'll tell you that right now.
What, that you cry more or less?
Everything makes you way emotional in a different way. I feel like.
I will say, here's a better answer to that. And I don't want people to think I'm just out here sobbing over Marvel movies, but
that's what everyone was thinking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When, Meg's upstairs, so she'll probably hear the story. But when Meg went off to college, I was driving somewhere, and some song came on called "Fathers and Daughters." And by the time that song was over, I'm just like, "Oh my god, it was terrible. It was so bad.
Hate that.
I know, it was so bad." Fergie Show wants to know if we've interviewed Sam Dancer when he was in his thong. Have you ever interviewed him in his thong?
No, but real close. Like when his little Speedo was like his butt was hungry, for sure. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. That's like a Wadapalooza staple, I feel like. Everyone's cheeks are out. It's my favorite part of my job.
I told a story to somebody the other day. I was at Wadapalooza, and James Newberry was there. And you and I met James at an Under Armour event
A million years ago.
Yeah, in January of 2020. It was right before the world shut down. And we became friends then, and we've kind of stayed in touch. We don't talk a lot, but we know each other, right? And so Matt was, and I'm literally standing there on my phone, not even looking up. And he walks over and like finds me to talk to me, which first of all was like, I'm super flattered and shocked that he can't even remember me that well. But he's wearing his little bikini thong thing, like his little...
Nice. I'm here for it.
I am burning a hole in his fucking forehead trying to make eye contact because I'm not going to look down. I'm that guy. I'm like, bro, you're a beautiful man, but I'm not staring at your package. And I'm just making that direct eye contact.
Laser focus.
And he's just sitting there talking to me like he's wearing a suit. And then... what's his buddy's name? Khan, who also beautiful man, comes walking up in his banana hammock. I'm like, what are you guys doing right now? Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
I think more of it should happen. I love women in sports bras and booty shorts working out. I think the dudes should do the exact same thing. I am here for all of that.
I just don't have that kind of body confidence. That's the thing. Like, I just don't have it. And I'm always impressed when others do, but man, it's that's the uncomfortable part. It isn't because he's a dude and I'm a dude. My uncomfortable part is I could never do that ever. And just
I hear you.
It's weird,
I hear you.
But kudos to them. Those dudes are built like Adonis. Like, if I look like him, I'd probably be walking around in one too.
Bruce goes, I would have stared right at it. Me too, Bruce. Me too.
Yeah, he'd be like, hey, James, nice dick. Like, what do you say to that? Like,
yeah, I like your dong, man.
Yeah.
It's hanging. There's only a thin piece of spandex between me and your wang right now. So what do you want me to say about it?
I know, man. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Your little koala's looking great. I don't know. Who knows?
This show has gone completely off the rails.
Sure. Aussies call them bungee snugglers.
Bungee snugglers.
Okay. That worked.
I'm here for it.
I know.
I'm here for all of it. Bring it on. Great. I think everyone should wear exactly what they feel comfortable in.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I think I do. I'm here for all of it. For real.
I don't know. It just felt weird, man. Like, because you got to keep in mind where we were, too. We were in the middle of the village. It wasn't like we were backstage and they just got done. I mean, they had just gotten done working out. They're doing a swim event, so it makes sense. But we were literally in the village. Hundreds of people filing around. And then people want photos. And now I'm having to take the pictures. So now I'm really stuck.
But in Miami, it's just kind of like that, and especially at Wadapalooza, it's like that everywhere. Like there's basically spectators walking around in bungee snugglers or smugglers.
It feels like it should be smugglers,
But
not
it's
snugglers.
snugglers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bean is here for it.
I know. Beans here was talking about. Come here, Bean. Oh, here we go. Here he is. Bean's here. Look at
Hey,
him.
Bean. There. We had a lot of requests for you come in tonight, sir.
I know. He's in a mood.
He's always in a mood.
He's been in quite a mood. See, Trish says budgie smugglers. Smugglers seems right to me because you're smuggling something, right?
You're also snuggling something.
Smuggling a chihuahua. That's what it looked like.
All right.
It was very odd. We'll probably won't see any of that this weekend.
Probably not.
For anyone that's going to be in Orlando, I will be there, and I don't know where we're going to be sitting because it's just general admission. But I'd be happy to take recommendations. People want to tell me the best places for margaritas and bourbon because I plan to do both of those while I'm there, and have some tacos and some pizza and enjoy Orlando and have a good time, hang out with friends.
Hell yeah. And then if anyone is going to be in California next weekend, I'll be there. And if you have recommendations on where to go, I will listen to them and probably not take them because I won't have time. Love that for me.
There you go. I'm going to make sure the next episode I come loaded with questions that make you uncomfortable. And I'm just going to make you roll, people. It's going to be great.
I might do it. I was going to say I won't do it, but maybe I will. Maybe there'll be a question that just kind of hits me right. And I'm
are you adverse to
fuck that guy?
Boat? Or no?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Like some people have no fear of, I'm just going to state my opinion and it's not intended to hurt anyone, but I'm going to say it. And if they're hurt, that's their problem, not my problem.
Oh.
They're going to say it. Like I have family members that way. And then, there are others who are like, I have an opinion, but I'm going to keep it as close to the center line as possible to make sure that, no one's pissed at me. Are you either one of those?
No, it's really situation dependent. Like there's some things that I absolutely have like really big feelings on that I don't give a shit if you don't like what I have to say or you don't whatever. I'm going to say it because I feel that way and I think it's important to get that kind of communication out there. And then there are some things that are just only hurtful and mean and I'm not going to tell the world if you're the smelliest person I've ever interviewed because like zero people benefit from that and that's only like offensive. And like as a also a human who gets shit from other humans, especially online or in the comment section of this live show, even if you've come on here to troll us, like it doesn't feel good. And I would never do that to someone else without like serious reason. So that's why I am the way I am, I guess.
See, I'd tell anyone that they stink. I'd be like, Fraser, you stink, bro.
I maybe would tell him to his face to like take a shower. But I wouldn't just like throw it out on this podcast because that's so mean. Why would I do that?
I think they know. You're right. They know.
Of course they know. Oh my God. I think they knew when they walked over to me and my eyes started watering.
Yeah, true. Like, bro, you smell.
Wow.
You smell.
Go take a shower.
Oh, there you go. Here's what we'll do this one. I promise we would do this one. We don't have enough time for this one. Should Greg be canceled? We'll do a different show on this.
Okay.
I do want to do a show on this at some point. For the record, I love Greg. I'm going to say this out loud before we circle back to that somewhat. Greg was great to me. Like really great to me as a person and really nice dude. But I have opinions on that too. And
we should do a show because I actually have really big opinions on that too.
We'll do it at some point. And I say it all with love for Greg because he was great to me and the huge reason why this podcast even exists for whatever that's worth. So I got some opinions on it. We'll do that at a later time.
I think I have the opposite opinions from you actually. So
well, maybe that's okay. It's okay. We're allowed to do that. So well, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been different. I liked it. Let's do it again. Come on, let's do it again.
Somebody actually message me and say we should do these at least once a month, and I'm not opposed to that, doing more often. Particularly if everyone jumps in the comments. I like getting the comments from people.
I know. I was worried it was going to be too late. I didn't know if everyone else went to bed at the same time as my baby. But time works for us, so.
CrossFitters are a rare breed. They'll show up whenever. It's good stuff.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, I'm sure I'll talk to you a dozen times this week, and I'll
I know.
be messaging you from Orlando. But great seeing you as always.
Likewise, have so much fun. Travel safe. Be careful taking sneaky videos of event one and sending them to athletes on the internet.
I'll tell you who it was off the air too, by the way.
I'm so excited.
I know. But yeah, I'll do that. So,
Okay.
before we go off there, tell Matt, great job on the Mother's Day gifts. I'm proud of him.
Oh, I will. He crushed it.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for joining. Appreciate you guys being on, and we'll chat with you guys soon. Peace out.